Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to return to a series that we had been running a few weeks back, and then we had a little hiatus over the holiday period. Well, I'm still wearing my Santa hat today, but this is Non-Sudoku Puzzle Saturday. Now, the rules of this is a brand new type of puzzle. It's called Latin Square Jam, and the puzzle on screen is called Grundriss by Myxo. And Latin Square Jam is some new puzzle type that the constructors have invented, where you have to split this grid into square shapes and then fill the squares. So say that was a square, then that square would have to contain the digits 1 to 4 in each of its rows and columns. It's a really interesting idea. And then Myxo has used Sudoku constraints. So these are normal thermometers, these are Ren bands. Don't worry if you don't know what all these things are, I will explain in due course. And these are arrows that somehow are going to allow us to do this this floor plan. I looked up what Grundriss meant. Apparently it means floor plan. So we're going to divide this grid. How big is the grid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. Looks like 18 by 12 maybe? Yes, 18 by 12. So it's an 18 by 12 grid, and we're going to have to divide it into square shapes. And look, I snipped some comments on this. It's got 99% approval rating on Logic Masters, and some really, really adoring comments. Lots of people saying it was weird, very unusual, but super interesting. And I saw it when you get a puzzle that both Magnus and Jesper Josephson comment on. The Josephson twins are, well, they've probably got a combined IQ of about 400. So always interesting if they're both giving very good comments, which they did. So this is what I'm looking forward to having a go at. It's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so hopefully not totally monstrous. And I'm always intrigued at trying new types of puzzle. Yeah, we'll have a look at this in a moment or two's time. Now, do I have any news for you before that? I have a couple of birthdays to do and another type of announcement as well, which is really amazing. But let me first mention that we are closing in now on the 1st of January, and to celebrate the new year, we have a very special gift for you if you're a patron of the channel over on Patreon, which is Blobz Sudoku Hunt themed on The Hobbit. Those of you who've been patrons for a while will remember the Lord of the Rings hunt that happened earlier on in 2024. Well, this is even bigger and even better. So if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings, you really must get involved in this. The art is so the pack contains all the art of Ted Naismith, the Tolkien illustrator. So it's another beautiful thing. And you can see the names of the puzzles there, 19 puzzles in all. And yeah, 4 p.m. UK time on the 1st of January is when that will launch. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else. So let me get to birthdays and one other announcement as well. We'll start off with Yeva. Yeva, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Your partner Tommy wrote to us and told us that you were both at Stratford for the live edition of Cracking the Cryptic that we did a couple of months back. And it's your birthday today, and Tommy is sorry that you're not together. I can't remember which of you is visiting family, but Yeva, I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today, with of course chocolate cake, and also a young birthday, Joseph. Joseph, you've turned 4 today. And I know this because your Aunt Amy, who some of you in the Sudoku community may know better as Panthera, wrote in to tell us it was your birthday and to say that how delighted you are. Apparently it is National Chocolate Candy Day today. Is that really true? Can there be a national day for chocolate candy? I hope that is true. And I gather, Joseph, that you're having chocolate cake, maybe in the shape of a blue car. Is that right? But Joseph, I hope you have a brilliant birthday. Thank you very much for watching the channel, which I am assured you do. And I hope you get lots of presents. And of course, that chocolate cake is suitably splendid. And now I'm going to share with you a little story that came to us by email from Patrick. This is quite incredible. Patrick has requested a shout out today for his friend Tom. And it's 3 years since Tom first messaged Patrick asking about one of the puzzles in, do you remember the Pyramid Puzzle Hunt that we released in 2021? It's one of the most popular puzzle hunts we ever released. Anyway, Tom messaged Patrick, I think on Discord, and the two ended up becoming great friends. And Patrick relayed to us that Patrick was recently hospitalised and is now fully recovered. I'm very relieved to say. But the only reason that Patrick is fully recovered is because of Tom's intervention. So Patrick was given some very strong medication when in hospital. And Tom realised by analysing Patrick's messages that Patrick was basically having a bad reaction to the meds. And none of Patrick's family realised this. But Tom's got one of these analytical sort of Sherlock Holmesian brains and was able to note side effects that weren't being spotted by anybody else. And Patrick says that intervention saved his life. So, Tom, this is a shout out to you and to your incredible mind from your friend Patrick and from me. And well done you. What more can we say? And you see, being fans of puzzles can not only give you a great deal of puzzling joy, in Patrick's case, it can actually save your life. Incredible. Anyway, let's have a look now at Grundriss by Myxo, and I will read you the unusual rules to this puzzle. Latin square jam. Divide the grid into square-shaped regions. Fill each region of size n by n with the numbers 1 to n, such that no number repeats in any row or column of the region. Same numbers cannot touch orthogonally, even across region borders. Now, when I read that rule, before I turned on the webcam, I paused over it because I wasn't sure I understood it, but I think I do now. So imagine this was a region in the puzzle, and this was a region in the puzzle. So they're both square shaped. So I think that is legitimate. Then I think what this blue region is a 4 by 4 region. So I think that has to be filled with the digits 1 to 4. And I think this has to be filled with the digits 1 to 3. And you can immediately see this is no Sudoku puzzle, because in this column we have we're going to have repeated digits. And what it's saying is that if this is a 1, this can't also be a 1, because these would touch orthogonally across the region border. But obviously, if, let's say that wasn't a 1, if this is a 1, that could be a 1, because there needs to be a 1 in one of those 3 squares, and then that would be a 1. So it's really weird. It's really weird. But anyway, that's, I think, how I understand the rule. Additionally, the following standard constraints apply. Arrows. Numbers along an arrow must sum to the number in the attached circle. So you add up those 2 digits and you write the result in the circle. Thermometer. Numbers along grey thermometers must form a strictly increasing sequence starting from the bulb end. So let's look at this one. If that was a 1, that has to be higher than 1 because it's further up the thermometer. It doesn't have to be 2. You can miss out digits, and just be careful, because it did occur to me in this puzzle that you could have some very big squares in it. So I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens. So let's say there was a 12 by did I say it was 12? Yeah, so let's say that, all right, let's say it's 10 by 10. Let's say there's a 10 by 10 square in this puzzle somewhere. Let's say it's there. Then I don't know how I'm going to write the 10s into that region. I'll have to use A or 0. I'll use 0 because I don't have a 10 on my number pad. But anyway, make sure your numbers along thermometers increase just as mercury would rise in a normal thermometer. As the temperature rises, so must our digits rise along Sudoku thermometers. And then finally, Renban, numbers along pink lines form a non-repeating consecutive sequence in any order. So if this square was a 1, these would have to be the digits 2 and 3. They can't repeat the 1, and the sequence has to be consecutive overall. So we could have 1, 3, 2. There's no requirement along a Renban that you have any ordering of the numbers, unlike with the thermometers. And that, let me just check. Yeah, that is all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So where do we start here? It might be this arrow. In fact, maybe it is this arrow. This is a very long arrow. Now, let me just think. Is there any requirement? I was trying to think about whether we can just repeat digits along this arrow. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, is it theoretically possible that all of those are 1s, or does that break the rules of the puzzle somehow? If all of those were 1s, these would have to be in different regions, these would have to be in different regions, these would have to be in different regions, those would have to be in different regions, because you can't repeat it. We can't have that shape, can we? Because that would be 2 1s within a column of that region. But it's almost suspicious that this is a totally diagonal arrow. I don't know. There might be a reason that this can't be all 1s, but let's say it was all 1s. Even if it's all 1s, that there are 6 1s on that arrow. So that digit is at least a 6, which means it's part of a region which is at least a 6 by 6. And that means that this cell, if that region started at the bottom of the grid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of those have to be in the same region, definitely. Let me just think about this for a second. I think there's going to be a reason why. I don't feel like we can... Actually, let me think about this. So how are these sorts of cells ever going to get disambiguated in this puzzle? Oh, my phone's going crazy. I don't really understand that. That's very, very strange. Well, I mean, they must get disambiguated. Nobody said that the puzzle doesn't work, so it will work. It just doesn't feel... I don't feel intuitively like I understand how that can be. That can be the case. Do they have to? No, they don't have to be in different regions. All right, forget this. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to start there instead. Now that is at least a 3, because it's the third cell on a thermometer, and therefore it's part of at least a 3 by 3. So all of that thermometer is in the same... Let's have a colour. That's a lovely colour. This is all part of the same region. Now the region might be much bigger than this, but it is at least a 3-cell region. 1, 2, 3. And in fact it's at least a 4-cell region, I can now say, because this can't be a 1, 2, 3 thermometer, I've just realised. If it was, oops, it would look like this. And what? Oh, no, that doesn't count. That doesn't count, because that's not a legitimate Christmas 3. If this was a 3 in the corner... Well, no, let's be very precise. If this was a 3 by 3, and therefore this was a 3 in the corner, and the thermometer would go 1, 2, 3, what digit would I write into this square? There are no digits available, because only the digits 1, 2, and 3 would appear in a 3 by 3 that emerged from this corner. So this digit, well, no, this region is at least a 4 by 4. Is what we've just learnt. Actually, I'm overlapping purple now with the Ren band. Maybe I should change that. Yeah, I'll go to yellow. Now, if this was a 4 by 4, yeah, no, it's weird. It takes all the pressure off the thermometer. Oh dear, this thermometer is a length 5 thermometer, so that cell is at least a 5. That's at least a 6. Oh, sorry, there was a huge shout from downstairs. I think it's okay. Oh, wait a moment. What about this little thing here then? Those two digits are the same by the logic of the... Yes, in fact, all 3 of those digits are the same. That's got to be important, doesn't it? So what I'm saying is, I'm not going to use colours because my colours are delineating my regions, but these 3 digits are all the same digit, because this circle is just the sum of this arrow, which is just 1 cell long. Now, we know that, so if this was part of a region that extended down as far as row 3, we'd have 2 regions in, or two A's in the same column. That doesn't work. So this and this are in different regions, so this square is a 1 or a 2. It cannot be a 3 because that would imply that the region definitely did get down here. So all of these digits are 1 or 2, and they're all the same. That's really strange that this might be the way you start the puzzle, is from a tiny little arrow. Can these all be 1s? Is that somehow... I don't know. I'm not very good at this puzzle yet. I don't know is the answer. This is a 4-cell Renban, so there must be at least a 4 on it. This is at least... Oh, no, that's at least a 5-cell Renban. So there must be at least a 5 on that, but I don't know where it goes. I mean, if it was a 5 here, then again you'd know that this had to all be part of the same region. Now the top left of the grid is on an arrow, which is okay. Okay, this cell is not a 2 by 2. I'm not sure whether you can have a 1 in the corner, can you? What I mean is, can you have a 1-cell region? So imagine this was just a 1 and it was in a region of size 1. You are okay. You can't do that, but not for any reason that I'd watch the reason you can't do that. This is very odd. Imagine you put a 1 in the corner, and you said that this. Let me go to. Let me delineate it to say, okay, that is a size 1 region. Well, there's a problem now because I can't make a square. Because this digit now can't be 1 because it's attached to a 1, so that's at least a 2. That's at least a 2, which means that this square is going to be at least that shape, but that one needs to be at least this shape, and this can't be part of a square if it's part of both of those regions. So that's not right. So now I'm going to claim this is at least a size 3 region. The reason it can't be a size 2 region is that these digits are different, so they would be at least a 1 plus a 2, and then that circle is going to be a 3, so it can't be a size 2 region. Now, if it's a size... Well, oh... Wait a moment. I want to say this is now at least a size 5 region. That must be right. This is really clever, Myxo. This is really clever. Right. The point here, I think, is that this arrow has a sum. We don't know what it is, but oh, that's terrible. I thought that would work really well, blue. Let's try red. Okay, red has a sum made up of the sum of these two digits. Now, there must be more than one way to make the total of this arrow. Because imagine this was a 1-3 pair adding up to 4. This would be a 4. So this would be a 1-3 pair. There is only one way of making two different numbers add up to 4 if they're integers. So you can't put 1-3 here because this would be 1-3 and that square would be in the same region, wouldn't it? And it would repeat one of these red digits. So this digit is actually, I'm now going to say, at least 5. So there is a 5 at least in the region emanating from the top left of the grid, which means that the square that we're drawing is at least, oh, that's it. Right, it's that size. That is it. That is what we had to do. Because we know that there have to be two ways of making this total, whatever it is, at least. So we can do that with, say, a 2-3 pair and a 1-4 pair. That would work, adding up to 5. Or any bigger number. If this was 6, you could have a 2-4 and a 1-3. If this is 7, there's going to be 3 different ways to make the arrows work. But actually, it is 5 exactly, because what would happen if this was 6? This would grow, and it would connect these two into the same region. So this is a 5 by 5, and that is going to tell us lots of things all of a sudden, because that is a 5 now. That's our first digit. These are 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're different. And now I don't know what to do with that. Can I do the... Yeah, okay. What I'm going to do with that is not to do with this. I'm going to look at this square. Because one thing that we learned when we thought about this square is that... I don't even know how to quite express this, but we learned that you can't have a 1 by 1 region in the top left corner of the puzzle. And that principle must apply here, mustn't it? If that's a 1 cell region, so it is a 1, then this can't be a 1, this can't be a 1, so that's got to be part of at least a 2 by 2, and that's got to be part of at least a 2 by 2, and we know that doesn't work. So, whoopsie. So we don't know whether this is a 1 or not, but we do know that it's part of at least a 2 by 2. And we know, okay, and that's good, because we know that it can't be a 3 by 3, because that would put these, that would put all of this in the same region, and we know that can't be in the same region, because these have to be the same number. So this, now is this also subject to the 1 by 1 rule? Why? It must be, mustn't it? I mean, it's the same principle. If that's a 1, and it's in a square of size 1, those have to both be at least 2. And that can't work, yeah. So this is also in at least a size 2 region. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry, my colours don't seem very good today. No, definitely not that colour. Let's go orange. At least I can see the sort of grid furniture. So this is forced to be a 2 by 2, that red region. It can't grow any bigger. And that means this digit is A. Because there's got to be an A in this row, and now it can't be in the same column as itself. So that is A. So we've got a diamond of A in the grid. And we've got this one also has to be at least a 2 by 2, so I'm going to make that one grow. Let's use yellow again. These yellows, if these bump into each other, then more fool me. So now what does that mean? I don't think this can be a 3 by 3, because if it was a 3 by 3, you couldn't have 4 different digits on this Renban. So if this grows beyond size 2, it's going to be at least a 4 by 4. That feels tricky-ish, but I don't think that's impossible. My phone's buzzing at me. I haven't got my new watch on today, so I'm not getting the buzzes on that. Okay, I might be stuck now. I'm not sure what to do. Is it going to be to do with... I have not got a clue. I don't know. I've got nothing. I think maybe I could use that arrow. What's that arrow telling me? This... I was going to say, does this have to add up to 6? But it doesn't, does it? Because we can repeat digits. Okay, you can't put 3 1s along here, because one of those 1s is going to be... Well, you just can't do it. You can't put 3 different 1s, because the middle one would be a square on its own, and it's touching 1s. But you could perhaps make that 4. If you had a 1 here as a square on its own, and then you had a 2 here, therefore, and a 1 here, I think that would work. So that would keep this square down to 4, but it has to be at least 4. Right, so that means this square is in the same region as that. These are in the same region. Maybe that's limiting the size of this one somehow. If that's bigger, it's 3 by 3. I don't really see why that would be the case. Why couldn't that be a 4 by 4 and join up to all its friends? I don't know. I'm sorry. If this is obvious, I apologise. I don't know what to do. I just don't know I don't know where to look even, because I've found that weird things affect the size of these regions. That's the sum of those 2 digits. Now, but they could be the same number, couldn't they? If they were both 1s, that would be a 2. No. Right. That's actually quite an important deduction. That doesn't work. Oh, that's really weird. Right. Okay. So I think I can prove, and it's going to have consequences actually, I think I can prove this is at least a 3, and that's going to make that at least a 3, and that's going to fence this in. how do I prove this is at least a 3? Well, let's try and put double 1 on this arrow. Now, the reason this doesn't work is, look what it makes A. It makes A into 2. But that makes that into 2. But that puts 2's in both of these squares, where they cannot be because they're orthogonally adjacent. So you can't make this arrow double 1, which is the only way of keeping this down to 2. That extends yellow at least one more. It might now bump into green. We've got to remember that. But the important thing I can see immediately that results from that is it fences this orange region in. So that orange region, well, I think that might mean this is a 4, but I might be wrong about that. Because what I'm now thinking is that this region, well, effectively what we're saying is that this is a 1 or a 2 and is A. So we've got a sort of staircase of A's going up. But those two digits are now the same, aren't they? And they are either 1s or 2s. So this is either double 1, with this being 2, which we've proved is impossible, or it's double 2, with that being 4. And that doesn't fall foul of this, because this can't be a 4. So it's going to look like that. That's the only way of filling in this sort of very strange floor plan. And this is okay, this is a 4. So yellow is growing and now is overlapping with this thing here. So yellow is that a square? If yellow gets all the way over here, is that square? Might be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I don't think it is quite actually. I think it's got 11 going across. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, it's not square because we know that there's 12 rows. So we can't. So that yellow and that yellow shouldn't end up joining up. But this is at least a 4. What does that mean? I don't know. If this was bigger than 4, or if this square was bigger than 4, it would go to there. Is that a difficulty? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. No, that's not even true what I was about to say there. Is it something to do with... I don't know. I'm so sorry if you're shouting at your screens. I know it can be very frustrating when I don't see things that somebody made that very clear on the crossword video the other day. They got cross with me for not being cleverer. I feel like I'm being a bit slow about this, actually. What on earth? Is it this little wren band thing? That's got to be... Oh, it's got to have... Yeah, okay, that's quite an interesting thought. This wren band, even if it started with the lowest possible number, which is a 1, it must have at least a 4 on it. Now, well, see, does that mean this square is going to become part of this? I mean, that square can't be a 1 actually, because it sees a 1 across the region border, so that's at least a 2. So there's a region coming down here that's of some size. That also can't be a 1 for what it's worth. But if I could get this to be at least a 3, then it would do that, and that would pen in this region of size 4. It's a really interesting idea, actually. What is it called? Latin square jam. It's got some really new logic, I think. I want to come back to my idea about 4 on this Renban. I'm not saying there is a 4 on it, but obviously if it hasn't got a 4 on it, it's got like 5 6s, and that's going to make this have to be big, very big. So, what's the correct way to think about this? How is this part of a region that's only of size 2? That's perhaps a good way to think about it. If it's only of size 2, could that be the case? I feel like it can't be. Because if it's only of size 2, it can't be it can't be that. Because then you can't put a 4 on this Renban, because these are only going to be the digits 1 and 2. And there must be at least a 4 on the Renban. So if it's only of size 2, it has to be exactly that shape. And now this square would have to be the 4 on the Renban, and that's going to make that shape, which prevents this from being only of size 2. So this is not only of size 2, and this achieves the goal I wanted to achieve. This is at least a size 3. It might actually have to be at least a size 4 based off the same logic, but let's take the low-hanging fruit from that, which is that this 4 region has now been penned in and is of size 4. And that's beautiful, because that means that's a 4, because we worked out it can't be any less than 4. Now where do I put 2 in this column? It can't go next to another 2. So there is a 2 on this Renban, which means there is a 3 and a 4 on it. So there is a 4 in one of these 2 squares. If I could find it, if it was here, then this would connect to it, and we'd have an enormous region. Right, this is important. I just need to think about this for a second. Okay, let's try the other idea, which is it possible this is a size 3? If it's size 3, we know there's at least a 4 on the Renban, so it can't go there. Yeah, it can't be only a size 3, because it would be like that, and that would be a 4. And that 4 would then immediately sort of overlap with the blue. So this is part of a region at least of size 4, which means we can extend it like this. Oh no, okay, well now this is actually part of a region at least of size 5 because of the thermo. Because now somehow it's overlapped with the tip of this thermo, which is going to be at least a 5. So this is part of a square that's at least 5 by 5. So even if it started here, it would definitely include all those squares. And now 2, 3, 4. You see, that could be a 5, couldn't it? Because this Renban might not have a 1 on it, so it could be a 2, 3, 4, 5 Renban. But is there anything? I don't know. I'm not quite sure still how to do this. I know there's a 4 in one of those squares. I mean, I will pencil mark that. And there must be a 3. Oh, maybe I can do Sudoku or something, can I? let me just try that. Those are a 1-3 pair. That's a 1 or a 3. Well, I wonder what's going on here, because if this, to make this a 4, these have to all be from 1s and 2s, don't they? Right, I can do my top left corner trick here. I say mine, it's not really mine, but it's something I've discovered. That cannot be a 1-cell region, can it? Because that's going to make that and that overlap. So this is at least a 2x2, and that means it is exactly that shape. That's terrible again. I'm really running. I use that. I find it quite difficult today. I don't know if my eyes have changed or something to see the grid shadings behind. I'll use red again. So that is a 2x2. We know it can't be a 3x3 because we need this one to be in a different region to the red. But I think it's the same. Oh, maybe it's not. Well, what I was going to say... Well, the only way you keep this down to have a total of 4 is by putting 2 1s on it. So those have both got to be 1s. That's got to be a 2. That's got to be a 2. That's got to be a 1. Now, where does 2 go in my yellow 4x4 in this column? It's got to go here. So this is a 1 or a 3. I've got a 1-3 pair in these squares, so these are a 2-4 pair. These are a 1-3 pair. That digit is no bigger than 4, and it can't be a 1. So it's 3 or 4. So this digit is 1, 2, or 3 on the thermo. And what about that digit? Again, well, that actually can't be a 1. We can see that because there's a 1 next to it. So there's a region there that is growing. But it might be bigger than just 2x2. But the same point is going to apply here. That's got to be at least 2x2. Possibly larger. Now, and if that gets slightly larger, it's obviously going to pen this one in, and if this gets slightly larger, it pens that one in. Oh, well, how could this can't be? Oh, it's beautiful. It can't. It's very simple but beautiful. How could this only be a 1, 2, ones filled with 1s and 2s? One of these cells on a thermo would be a 1. And yet it's the second cell on the thermo. That doesn't work. So that one definitely grows. Purple is now definitely finished. Now, what's going on there then with this one? Can that just be a 1 on its own? Maybe that's fine actually. Okay, but I'm going to carry on doing my trick. This square can't be a 1 or a one cell size square, so it has to grow, and it can't be like that, can it? Because these two squares would be impossible to squarify. Let's just check that's true. If I do that, the only way that can be part of a square is if it's on its own, and then this needs to not be on its own, and it's going to overlap with green. So I think that is a 3x3. Let's use orange for that. Oh no, that doesn't show up the purple properly. Let's use yellow again. So that is a 3x3. Ooh, oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good for this one, because I can fill this in. Let's do the outline of this one as well. Now, this is 1s, 2s, and 3s. That's a pencil mark I never thought I'd make. So this is a 3 or a... well, actually, is it? Well, given this has got... it could be 2, 3. It could be a 4. Or this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. If... oh, why? What's that doing? That's doing something, isn't it? I just can't see it. Bad, Simon. If that's on its own as a 1, that's a 3, that's a 2. That doesn't work. That's ridiculous. Wow. Okay. Imagine this was a 1. I.e., imagine this was a... In fact, it just can't be a 1, full stop. But I was thinking about whether this could be a square on its own, in which case it would be a 1. But the problem now is, where do I put 1 in this column of this 3 by 3 region? It can't go next to itself, and it can't go repeat on its own Renban. So that's not going to work. So given this digit is not able to be 1, it's part of a square that's bigger than a 1 by 1 square. So it bumps in now to the green region, which becomes a 4 by 4. It hasn't got space to be any bigger than that. And now this square is surely the fascinating one, because that can't now be in its own region, because this would be bigger and would bump into this, which can't be square-shaped if it has this kink in it. So that one has to be blue, which means it's like that. Oh no, I was certain that was going to... It doesn't, does it? Because this could be bigger still. So this could still be a 6 by 6. Alright, it can't be bigger than that though. So either blue is a 5 by 5, or it grows and takes this one, and it becomes that shape. So it's either got the digits 1 to 5 in it, or it's got the digits 1 to 6 in it. But perhaps, right, before we worry about that, let's go back over here and see if we can do more. Because surely we can... Well, what is that digit? 3, perhaps. If it's 3, that's 1, that's 2. That's 3. 3, 1. That's 2. That's 2. I think that might be okay. Oh, where's 1 in this row? I did work out this couldn't be 1, didn't I? Because we couldn't put 1 in that column. So 1 in this row is definitely there. These bulbs have to be from 1, 2 and 3. The tips have to be from 2, 3 and 4. I mean, that is a desperate pencil mark. That can't be a 1, so that now can't be a 2. Oh, bobbins, 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 Simon. Come on, use your brain, man. What's going on? This... I don't know. It felt like this was going to be where I needed to look, and it doesn't work. Does this have to be a 3 by 3, or can we somehow... Does it... That's a 1. That's a 2, and that doesn't work. Yeah, I think it now works back this way. That has to be at least a 2 by 2. This is slightly terrifying. Are we going to... Because if this... I mean, it's worth repeating. If that's its own region, that's a region, and that's going to have to overlap with it. So that doesn't work. So I think we're in a situation where this has to be at least this size. We can get away with that. I can see the grey against that green background. And then this square's a problem. Because we can't make that overlap and be a square shape. So I think we are in a situation where this is also a 3 by 3. So we've got loads of 3 by 3s sort of sitting in the top left of the grid. Now that can't be a 3 and that can't be a 1. I don't see how to resolve all that. And this one, this yellow thing at the bottom, can presumably still be a 6 by 6. I don't know, there might be a reason it can't be, but that certainly feels possible. 4 is in one of those squares in row 1 of the 4 by 4. And... I don't know, we could look at... Maybe we've got to look at the blue thing again, but I didn't like the blue thing. The blue thing seemed complicated. Okay, so we worked out, didn't we, that we worked out that this was either just made up of the digits 1, 2, 3. If it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would, this thermo would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wouldn't it? That would give us a 1, 2, 3. That would be a 3. That would be a 4. That would be a 4. And the only other option is that this grows and takes in this square. I mean, that would be massive, because if we can prove this is a 6, then all of these have to be 1s, which I think would be potentially extremely helpful for working out how this bottom left area worked. So maybe I have to pencil mark the thermo then, because we know that this is the digits in the blue region are either at most 1 to 6, and this is a 5-cell thermo, so there's only 2 options in each of the positions. It's got to look like that, and this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. So these are from 4, 5, and 6. I want to do Sudoku on this one. Oh, hang on, that can't be a 6, because it's only a length 4 thermo. Oh, wait, that one can't be a 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5 is the highest we could get. Oh, no. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. Well, look, that is a 4, 5, 6 triple, which means 6 is in blue. And if 6 is in blue, it's a 6 by 6 at least. And to be a 6 by 6, it's got to be that shape. And this is going to do magic. It can't be bigger because there isn't space for it to be bigger. So it is a 6 by 6. This square is now a 3 because there's a 4, 5, 6 triple. So that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3. Well, yeah, this has got to be a 4, 5 pair, because it can't have 6 on the Ren band. This is a 3. This is just filling in. It is actually just filling in. Right, that is absolutely magic. So now this is 5. This is 4. So this thermo was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thermo in the end. So this is a 1, 2 pair. Therefore, ergo, well, this is a 6. We know it's at least 6, and this is all 1s along this thermo, along the arrow, sorry. So surely that's a problem, isn't it, somehow? What's that? That can't be a 1. So there's at least a region that looks like that, and what's more, I'm going to claim it can't be bigger because that would put 2 1s in the same row. So these are both 2s. And that is a whole new region we've just found. And the same's going to be true here, isn't it? Oh no, maybe not. That could be a bigger region. Well, that's again at least... Yeah, this has got to be a 3 by 3, I think. That might be wrong, but it's definitely that digit is at least a 2. So there's a region growing here. And I don't think it can be that shape, because what would this be? That could be a 1, but then this would have to grow into orange and it wouldn't be square shaped. So I think that's got to be the shape of this. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. So that's got to be what's going on. So this is forced now to be a 2 by 2. And therefore we can fill in these 2 digits. Now, so these are all 1s, 2. Oh no! These are all 1s, 2s, 3s. Mark would love this puzzle. It would be just a pencil marking heaven for him. This is a 1, 2, or 3 by the dint of this arrow thing. So 5 in column 1 is now placed. That's probably useful. I mean. No, what I was about to say is not true. Best not to say it then. That's not a 1. And so this is not a 4, because we know that these arrows add up to 5. Goodness, what does that mean? Am I meant to look at... I don't know where to look. Oh, okay, I've got something. Where's 2 in this column? It can't repeat on a Renban, and it can't go there because it would be orthogonally next to its friend. So there's a 2 here, which means that's a 2 and that's a 1. And this Renban now has to have 3 and 4 on it. Oh, but that's actually not too difficult. So this, well, that square is 1, 3, 4, possibly 5. If this was a 2, 3, 4, 5 Renban. So that's it's not limited it at all. So these are from 3, 4 and 5. That's not 4, that's not 5. Oh dear, am I getting stuck again? I fear I might be. It's got that sensation about it, hasn't it? Bobbins, what's going on? It's pretty amazing, actually. If you look at how much white real estate we still have not filled in this floor plan, it's a lot. And there's a lot of digits unfilled. And yet somehow this is supposed to solve uniquely from here. That is quite surprising. At least it is to me. Can we do more? Can we do more over here? We could ask where... Golly, I don't know. This Renban? That is a 5 length Renban that we've already got a 2 on it. So these digits are from 1, 3, 4 and 5, aren't they? Because we can't have more than 5 in the green region. So we're almost at the point where we need to have a 1 on it. That can't be a 1 by dint of this 1 across the border. This definitely has to have 3, 4 and 5 on it. Oh, it's so nearly interesting. Oh no, I can't see it, sorry. Okay, so we've got to try something different. Do we have to look at... Does that have to be... That's a... Yeah, again, this has to be at least a 2 by 2. I'm going to use purple now because there's no grid furniture to obscure. Now, can that be a 1? Oh, that might be able to be a 1 on its own region. Let's just have a quick look at that. Imagine that's a 1. That would be a 2 by 2. Almost feels like that could be a 2 by 2 and maybe that could be a 3 by 3. I'm not sure. But it certainly seems potentially possible. I mean, if that... Oh, well, hang on. How could this be... No, that's going to have to be right. Because if that's a 3 by... If this grows, if purple grows to be a 3 by 3, what on earth are you doing with those 3 squares? They cannot be 3 one-cell regions or one-cell squares in a row, can they? So that has to be... That's fixed. That's really weird. That is really weird. So this little cell, which we'll make blue, shall we? Yeah, I think that's okay. That is a 1-cell region. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, so that puts 1s in those squares. So this is not 2. That's not 1. The 1 in the bottom row of orange is there. So that's not 1. That's not 1. There's a 2, 3 pairs. So that's 1. How do the 2s and 3s get disambiguated here? I don't know. I don't know. But this one now, again, that can't be a 1-cell region, so that must be That must be a 2x2 region. It's such a peculiar puzzle. It really is. And now this can't be a 1, so that's at least a 2-cell region, and that can't be a 1, so there's a 3x3 region we've just discovered here. We'll make that one blue as well, because we can get away with it. And therefore, we're going to be able to, I can see I can put 1 in here, in this column, because this can't be a 1, and this can't be a 1. So in this row, 1 must be here, which means 1 must be here. And now we can fill 2s and 3s into the gaps. Now oh, hang on, have I made, I think there is a purple there, so I've used a bad colour here. Naughty Simon. Yeah, that's purple and it's got a 2 on it already, so that's 3, that's 2, that's 3, that's 2, that's 3, that's 2. We've now got 2 and 3, and we know this has got to have 4 on it, which is in one of those 2 squares. I mean, this has to be a... Oh, is it? Are we just going to get? Are we going to get a load of sort of 2x2s going along the bottom? I don't see how else we can do it. Remember, you know, it's the same point that we've been coming up against over and over again. Oh, that works well there. So we could do that. We could do that. Again, this can't be a 1-cell region because this would have nothing to join up with. So I think we can do that, all forced, and I think actually we're going to get all the digits in those as well, because we're going to have to put 1s, 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 2s, 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 2s. And that means, oh look, now I've got a 1 on my rem band, so I must have a 4 on my rem band. So that's 4, that's 5, that's 3, that's 5 on this one. That feels important. So I definitely have to have 3 and... look, I definitely have to have 3 and 4 on this rem band because it has 2 and 5 on it. That can't be 3 or 4, so this is a 3-4 pair. And this square is 1 or 6. For the other extreme end of this rem band, and if that's 3 and 4, that's a 2 in the corner, and that's huge because this now must be a 1-4 pair on my 5 arrow, which means this from our earlier learnings has to be the 2-3 pair. So that's 2, that's 3, that's 1, that's 4 using the power of this one. We've done that, right? 5 goes there, 1 goes there. Oh, nearly. Didn't work. I thought I could do better. This is a 2-3 pair. This 2 is poking down on this arrow here. So 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. That 3 is seeing here. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 3, that's 2. Goodness me. Where is 2 in this row? Can't be there by Sudoku. Can't be 2 orthogonally next to that. So that's a 2. 1, 3, 4. So this is the only place 1 can go. That is a 3 or a 4. 1. I must be able to put the last 1 into this box. It's got to go there, which makes that 5. 2, 3, 4. So that's 2 in the top row. I do hope this is... that's good. So I've got 3 and 4 to place here, and that 3 is useful. So 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 5. The top of the grid gets filled in. I still don't know what that is. But what can we do next then? We've got a 2. Okay, there's got to be a 3 in one of those squares, because there's a 2 on a 3-cell rem band. And golly, how am I going to get into this sort of southeasterly region? That has to be at least a 2x2. So there's some region here, but it might be much bigger. I mean, It can't be, actually it can't be bigger than 3 by 3. Because then it will bump into this and not be square. Oh, I wonder if there's a reason that doesn't work. It's not obvious to me why it doesn't work. Maybe there's a reason this can't grow. Oh yeah, that definitely can't grow. If the bottom right grows to be 5 by 5, well, let's look at that for a moment. What are we doing with this string of digits? They can't all be 1s, can they? So that won't work. So that's a 4 by 4 in the corner. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think, let's just surround the grid, make sure we've done that properly. I think this has to be a 2 by 2 now, for all the reasons that we've discussed at length. And now this has to be a 2 by 2. And now this can't be a 1, can it? Because then this region is not square. So there is a 3 by 3 here. And that must be a 3 by 3 at the bottom. And somehow or other, we have actually divided the grid up into regions. This is a stunning puzzle. It really is. So now we can fill in ludicrous pencil marks everywhere. Oh. How does this work then? I don't. It's very odd that all of this can be disambiguated using just a couple of tiny thermometers. This is one. No, that's 1, 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 4. That digit has to go there, doesn't it? In this column. Because it can't go in its own row and it can't repeat on its thermometer. So that is a 2 or a 3. See, that if that was a 2, it would propagate throughout this thing. See, that's got to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. That's got to be 1, 2. That's got to be 1, 2 or 3. Oh, where's 2? Look at this one. 2 can't repeat on its Remban and it can't be adjacent to itself, so that's 2. So these are a 1, 3 pair. And that's 1 or that's also 1 or 3. These are different digits. Oh, see, the orange is making that very hard to see. Let me just correct that. That's better. These are different digits, aren't they? Yeah, so they're different digits. So let's say that's 1 and that's 3. That C's 1 and 3, so that's got to be 2. Which means that's 2. And we've got a whole panoply of 1s and 3s to put in this box. These are different. And so if that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So these two digits are the same. Let's just quickly make a note of that. Which means that those two digits are also B. I don't know if this is important. It probably isn't, but I'm just trying to see my way through this. Okay. That digit has to find a home in this column, which is not in those two squares. So B is in one of those two. That's definitely not it, is it? Oh dear. How do we do it? Can we somehow propagate what's gone on up here? Maybe there is a way. Maybe it's to do with... I mean, what... I don't want to do it, but we could pencil mark this thing totally. 1 is in one of those two squares. That cannot be it, can it? Or is there a way... This Renban, it's got to have a 2 on it. Oh, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, that could be it. Where is... how is this Renban not containing 2? That's impossible, because these would have to be 1 and 3, and then that would have to be a 2. So there is a 2 on this, and it's got to be exactly there. So that's 2, that's 3, that's 1. So that's 1 now, apparently. So this is now 1, 2, 3 Renban. Ah, and all of a sudden it goes again. So that's 2, that's 2, that's 3, that's 3, that's 1. Oh, please. Please do more. Now, 2, 3 here. Yep, so that gets me a 1 there. It's hard to see this against the green background, but I think this is working. I think it's working. This 1 is very helpful. That fills in a load of stuff down here. Yeah. This is great. 4. Come on. That is now not 2 or 3. Yeah, this can't be 1 anymore, because this would need to be 3, which it can't be. So that's got to be 3. And now I don't know what that is, but that's still good. We're still gonna be happy with that and grateful. So we can fill those in. That now is a 3. So that's 1, that's 2. That's 2, that's 3. This is 2, this is 1, this is 1, this is 3. And therefore, do I know what that... Oh, I do. It's got a 1 next to it. So that's 2, 3, 4 Renban. So these are a 1, 2 pair, which I can do. That makes that 3. Okay. Right, so do we focus now on 1s and 2s maybe, or not? 4 maybe. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, 4 in this row has to go there. So this is 2 or 3. This is 1 or 2. Can't be 3 by dint of the strange rules. So this is 2. This is 1. This is 3. This can't be 1 next to another 1. Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. Are we getting deadly patterned? No, we're not. Because this 2 is stopping this being a 1. Or stopping that being a 2. Whoa! That's all. That's a lot of 1s and 2s. So it must be that pattern. We've only got 2 boxes left to do. And the thing that struck me most about this is that how few clues can still lead to seemingly a unique solution. It is really, really bizarre and really quite wonderful. Now, let's think about this. So, how do we do this? We could argue about, is it going to be... Where's 1 in this column is a good question. It's got to go there. That pushes these 2 up. So they're now 3 and 4. These are now, whoopsie, 1 and 2. This is now 4. This has to be 1. It can't be 2. So that finishes those cells off. These are 2, 3 and 4. Let's see what we can get rid of. That's the only place 2 can go. So we've got to go in that order. That finishes that whole box off. And we've just got the recalcitrant 6x6 to do. So what have we got a lot of in this? We have got 3 1s and 3 2s. Actually, we've got a fair few of most things, actually. Where is 1 in the bottom row of it? It can't be there because it would be next to another 1. So that's a 1. Where is 1 in column 6 of it? Not here, not here, not here, not here. So here, which makes that 6. So that was a higher extreme Renban. 1 has to appear in column 2. So does 3, so does 2. So these are 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to do it this way. I think it might be safer. Oh no, maybe I don't need to. 2 and 4. These are 5 and 3. Oh no, I don't need to. 3, 5, 6, 5, 4. 2 and 4 in this column. It's working, isn't it? 3 and 6. Yeah, we can do that. So 6 and 5. What a puzzle. That was lovely. Really interesting stuff. Let's see, is it right? Yes. How many people? Oh gosh, it's quite old. I didn't realise. I thought we've had this recommended quite a lot recently, Myxo, and yet it's been out for well over 2 months, more like 3, getting on 4. Fabulous. I think that will be incredibly popular, because it's utterly unique. I've not done anything like that before, and it's unique in a wonderful way. It's just really peculiar. The logic is fresh and strange and really intriguing. I loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.